Welcome to all of you, and thank you for attending this session, Turning Passion into Purpose, Education and Advocacy Opportunities within the American Medical Student Association. As stated, I am Tasha Phillips Wilson, a fourth-year medical student at St. George's University. I've been a member of the American Medical Student Association for several years, and it is truly one of the highlights of my medical journey. And I just wanted to thank the AMO opportunities for this opportunity today to speak. And I hope that you all learned something and are inspired by this presentation today. So the highlight of this conference is discussing the journey to US physicianship. We all have different paths in life. So there's no true one way to do something, but if you truly have a desire, then you'll get it done. So we start with undergraduate education. Some students opt for employment. Some students want to refine their skills. They do a master's program. Some people really want to delve deep and do a PhD program. But ultimately, to become a physician, you have to enter medical school. And medical schools have student organizations. So the one I'll be discussing today will be the American Medical Student Association, because it's the one that I kind of had an affinity for when I was a pre-med. And so when I was in medical school, I was like, for sure, I'm joining AMSA. And so my mom said, don't ever step foot into someone's home without showing respect. So again, thank you, AMOpportunities, for this opportunity to speak. And I just want to let you all know, as an AMSA member and with our partnership, you would have all these different discounts to the AMOpportunities clinical research opportunities and different rotation opportunities. So this is something I'm sure has been discussed today. I won't elaborate on it anymore, but I just want to highlight that AMO has great experiences, and as an AMSA member, you get discounts to participate in these. And so going back to our topic, turning passion into purpose. So what is your purpose in life? It's hard to figure out, right? You spend so many years, what do I want to do? And then you've come up, oh, I want to be a physician. But what about being a physician? Will you just be the bedside physician, or will you want someone to contribute and change medicine, right? You want to contribute to your community, different families, right? Well, to do that, you may want to figure out what you're passionate about. And then once you find that, then you'll figure out how to apply it and have a purposeful life. And so I found this quote that really resonated with me a couple years back, and it's by T.D. Jakes. If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, for your passion will lead you right into your purpose. And so with the American Medical Student Association, it is a student organization with mission, purpose, and strategies. So the purpose, we are a community that loves to inspire future physicians through education and advocacy. We do this, we're committed to improving healthcare and delivery to all people, promoting active improvement in medical education, involving our members in social, moral, and ethical obligations of the profession of medicine, assisting in the improvement and understanding world health problems, contributing to the welfare of medical students, pre-medical students, interns, residents, and post-MD/DO trainees, advancing the profession of medicine. We do this by emphasizing our strategic priorities, which are quality, affordable healthcare for all, global health equity, enriching medicine through diversity, and professional integrity, development, and student well-being. And so all that is very verbose, but just to narrow it down, medical education beyond the traditional curriculum. So we know in medical school, you focus on the basic sciences. We're doing pathology, histology, anatomy, etc. But in AMSA, you're going to be discussing global health. You're going to be doing sexual health, reproductive justice, medical school for gun safety, all the things that are so relevant right now that are really taking a hold on what healthcare is and how we're going to generate to a better future in medicine. We're talking about advocacy, racism in medicine, transgender health, all the things that are important to you, your family, your community, right? How do we provide the best care for the patient? Well, we have to advocate, right? Because medicine was built on a certain foundation, but we're trying to improve that, right? There's always an opportunity for improving all the bias that we have come to know. There's also so many opportunities within AMSA with future and current physicians and leaders in AMSA has really contributed to my professional growth. We have opportunities for poster presentations. You definitely will build on your curriculum vitae being a participant and such. You're going to refine your interpersonal skills and development, and then you'll have opportunities for public speaking, such as this one today. And then also there's so many leadership opportunities. You can start with being something as small as a facilitator, but still so essential. And you build to be a course director, you gain confidence, you can be chairs of programs, and then ultimately you can be a board of trustee, and if you desire, the president of AMSA. And then AMSA really focuses on community, right? So we collaborate with like-minded students and physicians. So AMSA is truly about its members. We work with members. You are such an essential part of that. We cannot do the work without the members. And so here of what our members are this year, we currently have about 30,000 student members, which comprise 50 United US states and territories, over 79 countries. Some of you are represented today speaking 31 languages. Se habla poquito español. And then we have 70 years of activism within AMSA. So with that, our pre-med student body is strong, right? So we have about 50%, which is pre-med, which means we have a strong future coming for us. And then our medical student members, 33% approximately, and IMG, which I am, proud member, 15%. And then graduate trustees as well, so 1% for there. And with our history of AMSA, AMSA was established in 1950. We were a branch of the American Medical Association. We branched off later. So we just have a really long, strong history of activism. Just so you know, contributions, we played a strong part in growing and establishing the National Health Service Corps and development of World Earth Day. Also, we played a key part in the Patient and Physician Safety and Protection Act of 2001, which limits residency work hours. We still have more work to do. Also, one of the most notable experiences that I took part in 2 years ago, we did Advocacy Day for the Dr. Lorna Breen Act. And as we know that was passed earlier this year. So that is something that I'm really proud within the history of AMSA as well. We really focus on important issues in medicine, and our work is strong. Like we exercise our student power and see the change through. So with this year's Board of Trustees, we've decided to really focus on 3 advocacy priorities. Number 1, reproductive justice, prices, and then medical education reform, which I'll discuss in a little bit. So with lowering drug prices, we know like just for insulin, it's ridiculous price. Big Pharma is capitalizing big time on EpiPens, life-saving medications that underserved communities like really don't have access to and really don't have the funds, right? Which these are drugs that are essential for life. And so within AMSA, we have a Just Medicine campaign. So if this is something that you're really interested in or have a growing passion for, this is something you can get involved in within AMSA. And just so you know, I have links to everything in the little green. So if it's something you're interested in, then you can take a screenshot. Betty Martin, also Dr. Jeff Cote, and Dr. Aaliyah Runyon. They're doing a great job with our reproductive justice program, which is a granted reproductive health project. If this is something you're passionate about, this is the time to get involved with this. We know that with the US Supreme Court overturning the right to abortion care, OB-GYN, the field is just really up in shambles right now, the rights to women's health, right? Just so you know, AMSA is bipartisan, but we really seek to provide the best patient care. So this is something, if you want to get involved in, again, reach out to our reproductive justice leaders, and there are so many opportunities. Also, this is the Medical Ed Scorecard. This is something that really was highlighted by our president, Dr. Michael Walls. a few years back, really involved in the farm-free scorecard that really changed the way that medical schools provided care or funded education. So he decided, let's revamp this program this year. Current data for these academic medical centers. So this is something you're really interested in learning more about, then you can join this organization. A very unique opportunity within AMSA is a salaried position we call our EAF, right? So it's an Education and Advocacy Fellow. This year is Oak Sonefist. It's they and their representative. Oak is a medical student working to enhance education and advocacy program initiatives within this organization. Oak is working directly with our AMSA president, CEO, different staff members, different committees, and our grant providers for this year's program, which is Participant Media. You may have heard of Participant Media with the very powerful film, The First Wave, covering the COVID pandemic. If you haven't, you can stream it on Hulu. And so we're very proud of Oak and they are doing currently with Participant Media. And so I've discussed several advocacy opportunities and talked about what you're passionate about. So if you're still figuring that out, or but you just don't know how to really funnel that into a really purposeful project, then we have AMSA Advocacy Coaches. This program was started by Dr. Richard Bruno and Dr. Ryan Palmer. There are several coaches within this program. And just if you're interested, just reach out. You have to be an AMSA member. Reach out, let them know, hey, I am interested about such and such. And they will help you really facilitate your ideas, clean them out, and create a strong program so that you can really exercise your passions and be productive. I discussed the advocacy opportunities, and now I'll shift over to the education opportunities, which there are many, right? So as was said, AMSA is really about medical education beyond the traditional curriculum. So yes, and there'll be some things you'll discuss, like different pathologies, etc., but it'll tie with racism in medicine, right? So this is not what you'll learn in medical school. So we have the Amsa Academy, which really has a great program for international medical students, the IMG Prep Series, the Scholars Programs, Action Committees, campaigns, etc., which I'll discuss in detail now. And so the Amsa Academy, this is what I was chair of last year. This year, it's chaired by Sean Jen, a great friend of mine. She's doing great work. This program is really, you get involved to learn about key issues. Again, series, we really advertise and really help students find clinical experiences, such as our partnership with AMOpportunities. And then this is where students really learn to lead. They refine their professional skills. We have a life and leadership program within the Amsa Academy. So if this is something that you really want to work on professional growth, interpersonal skills, etc., this is the opportunity. This is the academy to join. Also, you have different opportunities to gain more clinical experience. So this is the Amsa Academy. And as stated, the IMG series, I imagine that we have a great international audience today. I know that we also have some domestic students as well, but for IMG Prep Series, it's kind of a unique process to applying for medical school and seeking that journey to US physicianship. And so it used to be offered in the fall, but we found it this year. We're going to shift it to the spring. We found that this is more strategic. It's going to prep students for application season. And so we'll be doing 7 sessions, seminars, creating a toolkit, etc. And so really be on the lookout for this. And I'm excited to collaborate and share with this later next year. Also, we have the Amsa Academy. Under the Amsa Academy, we have several scholars programs, 12. So we have 6 in the fall, 6 in the spring. This is an opportunity to what am I passionate about? I'm not really sure yet, but let me learn a little bit about medical education beyond the traditional curriculum. Like, I know that I want to be a physician, but I'm not really sure how I want to contribute to the field of medicine beyond the patient bedside. So you get involved in scholars programs, and this is where you're really going to learn different topics. How, like, what is advocacy? Why is it important? How do I do it? Like, how do I become effective? Healthcare for all. You can do integrative medicine. It's a very unique approach to medicine. Racism in medicine. We know COVID and the color of COVID, right? Different ways to approach chronic diseases. There's different algorithms for different races. So this is something like, if you're interested in that, I certainly am. This is a scholars program to get involved in. Reproductive health scholars program. We also have reproductive justice health project. They're different, but they definitely overlap, and they're both great. And then we have sexual health scholars program. So this is also going to be not exactly the transgender health, but it kind of ties into that as well. And then in the spring, we have global health, health justice, medical humanities, focusing on writing, different dance elements that you can involve with your patients, with yourself, um, public health opportunities, pre-medical scholars programs, and then we have the transgender health scholars program, which has a very powerful community. Also, in addition to our scholars programs, we have action committees. Okay, so now you've learned about different topics. And now you know what you're passionate about. Let's put that passion into action, right? And so AMSA has several action committees that you can get involved in, and some of them truly overlap with the scholars programs, and that is purposeful, right? So that way, we're making sure that the students are well versed, and now you can put it into action, put the work into action. And so these are year round. They have different chairs as well, different coordinators. If you're interested in either of these action committees, go to amsa.org and please get involved. There's so much work to do. We also have Amsa campaigns. These are a smaller part of the organization.
Very important.
The AIDS Advocacy Network is really doing some great work, especially around the month of December, January, and February. We have Healthcare for All again, Met Out the Vote, which is really important, right? So this is going to be important in November. We've partnered with Vote ER and how to really use that in a patient setting as well, and the med students for gun safety. And so, in addition to the action committees and the campaigns and the scholars programs, we have what's called Health Equity Weeks of Action. So, we have a National Primary Care Week, and we also have different weeks, right? So, if you're interested in the action committees or scholars programs, this is how you can really participate and become more effective in the health. Really, through the week. We have a week just dedicated to topic, right? We community coming up, different topics. And so this is really driven by our student members. It's a unique opportunity. If you want to just to get a taste to see what it's like, it's just a week of events. And this is a great opportunity to really learn about the organization as well. Okay, so scholarly activities. AMSA also has those as well. So you can be published within the New Physician magazine. This is a program that is really strongly growing under one of our board of trustees members, Andres Diaz. There's a bi-monthly magazine. It's committing to exploring social, political, and ethical issues of healthcare and medical education. So if you have some topics that you've learned about that are beyond the traditional curriculum, you want to do an op-ed piece, you want to do a perspective piece, you want to do an interview, etc. This is an opportunity you contribute, you write up in the New Physician, submit, and get it reviewed. It can be accepted or rejected, but with the rejections, you'll often be given, well, this is how you can improve and resubmit. This is a great opportunity to get a publication, and it's linked with the American Medical Student Association. It's a growing journal, and it's a great opportunity. This one here is the one that I did on AMSA Power and the student voice. And so I'm just letting you know that it is possible to publish in this magazine. Also, a great upcoming opportunity we have is the Scholar RX Bricks. So AMSA has also partnered with Dr. Tao Lee and Jeff Downing, their staff over there, where we're going to make AMSA bricks that reflect all of our scholars programs, which are the ones that I just stated, the healthcare for all, global health. They really want to focus on health policy and advocacy. So if this is something that you're interested in, this is the time to get involved now because it's just beginning. It's an inaugural program. Sean Jen and I are piloting it, and Marcella Trokar has also become involved in it. So you can reach out to either of us for this. And this is also a great opportunity to publish. Okay. And then with our global health, our global international audience, actually, the AMSA IFMSA partnership is very important. And so there's a General Assembly held in March and August. The IFMSA has 6 standing committees, a very unique part of the student memberships. And so you're welcome to apply for the IFMSA chair this year, and you can help enhance our national programs for future years. One of my favorite parts about AMSA and most of our favorite parts is going to be our convention. And this is
Going to be held in June this
year.
year.
We're still establishing the location, but let me tell you, this is the day or the few days, it's generally the weekend, where we really bring together medical education, advocacy, and so many opportunities to network. The conferences are where you network. So there's going to be advocacy days, an opportunity to present poster, build that curriculum vitae. You're networking with like-minded students. It's a great, strong environment, healthy environment where you're getting inspired. You're going to have some leadership training, learn how to do our Vote ER, virtual patient competitions, exhibit halls, etc. There's different prizes, etc., and good food. So really look out for that registration coming up. And I hope to see you in June at our AMSA convention. And so if any of the things that I just said today about our education opportunities, I just really want you to take a screenshot. This is our national action plan for 2022, 2023. And this will kind of guide you like, okay, I want to get involved at this time, because we know we're all medical students or pre-medical students, and we're really busy. So there's different months that are lighter for us, right? So you want to take a screenshot. I want to be involved during this month. Okay, so what's going on during this month? And this will help guide you for that. All right, so with our student organization, it's not all about like the work, right? So there's tons of benefits. Become a member. We have different institutional partners. You can become an ally, jumpstart your chapters, etc. But there's discounts, right? So we have so many discounts with our partners, different organizations, as we discussed. AMOpportunities is one of these partners where you get a benefit different programs. And so other programs we have Up to Date, Good RX, Kaplan, Body Interact, Bank of America, Walters and Kluwer. There are numerous. I couldn't put them all on one screen, but there are so many benefits within AMSA becoming a member as well. And again, I just wanted to highlight the AMOpportunities, clinical research opportunities you have. You can do it with MedStar Georgetown, U Chicago Medicine, U Health, all of these different opportunities to do your clinical skills, rotations, etc., that are part of our journey and much needed. And so I welcome you to join us at the American Medical Student Association. If you are a future physician, that you are fueled by your optimism, if you're committed to social justice and you are galvanized by change, I welcome you and enjoy.
How do you become involved as a member?
Well, number one, you have to go to amsa.org. We have several membership opportunities, 4-year, 1-year memberships available. You can connect with your official chartered chapter on campus. If you don't have a chartered chapter on campus, you can be the change maker and start a chapter at your school. Reach out to myself, Amelia Chap, or Fiona. We will help you. Or if your school is really like, okay, we like what Amsa is doing. You can speak to one of us about becoming an institutional partner, your school becoming that. And with that, there are certain benefits that are gained catered to your school, and every student at your school will become an Amsa member. For now, we welcome you to join us on social media. Follow us at AMSA National, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the likes, all the fun. And that way you can stay up to date with what AMSA is doing. And in the meantime, make sure you rock that AMSA swag. We have lapel pins, really awesome sweaters that are coming up. It's early fall here in Maryland. I know some of you are in the warmer states. I'm jealous. I'm from Florida. But we have some great shirts on AMSA, the swag shop, etc. So I invite you to kind of browse that site and show your AMSA spirit. And then if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's presentation, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or one of my IMG partners. We have Damiola and we have Mark this year on my team. And we are more than happy to help our IMG community. If you are a domestic student, you can still reach out to me and I will help you find the proper person, student, or staff to help answer your questions if I cannot. As please reach out to amsa.org. We have a growing website. There's any question you might have, you're going to find the answer there. So I welcome you to browse our site as well and make sure you hit the join. And so just a little bit about me. I know I've done this speak as was said earlier. I am on the board of trustees, the international trustee. These are my emails that you can reach out to me anytime. And these are just some of my favorite experiences at AMSA. This is my AMSA SGU chapter, the two top pictures. That's where I started. That's where my heart will always be. This is a picture of Sean Jen and I at the conference. We won awards this year for our work last year. And so AMSA is very rewarding as well, right? And that's great for your CV. We talked about CV building. I know you guys know about Dr. G and medical humor. So I met him last year's conference. So again, there's fun to be had at the conference. You'll meet different people. And this is last year's IMG trustee, Fiza Farouk. As our international chapters, I just want to let you know that as an SGU student, we won the Paul R. Wright Chapter Success Award. This is something I'm very proud of because we were able to contribute to the community of Grenada, to different parishes. We did that by doing health fairs, blood drives, etc. Really utilizing those health equity weeks of action. And we did it with medical education and we did it with advocacy in Grenada. So let me tell you, AMSA helped us do this, and we're so grateful for this award. And then Mark is still on here. This is one of my partners this year. Sarah was our health fair director. Dr. Theo is so passionate about it. So these are like lifelong friends, etc., that you'll have. As I said, AMSA is a community. It's really future physicians galvanized for change. And we're very optimistic about medical education and advocacy. So I want to thank you for staying for the talk. And I just want to give you one of our quotes, our stronger quotes at AM. Never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you. So the main website to go to is amsa.org, right? And then from there, there'll be different tabs. There'll be tabs on joining. There'll be action committees, leadership, academy. Pretty much, if you follow the tabs, it's self-explanatory. It's a really clean website. Again, what I would like to highlight for the international audience is our IMG prep series. This is going to be in the Amsa Academy tab. Numerous education opportunities. Amsa advocacy coaches is something very like, this is what my speech today was about, right? So we're talking about medical education and advocacy, passion into purpose. So we're going to find something that we're passionate about in medicine, but will you be so bold to be an advocate for it, right? And to really contribute to change. If you're trying to figure out how to do that, then you want to join in our link here, right? So we have different physicians that have volunteered their time and are really ready to help coach pre-medical students, medical students, or graduate students, trying to really help them refine their ideas and develop a plan to go out and be a change maker. This is an education advocacy fellow. There will be applications for this role coming up again later this year, early next year. Reproductive justice. These are advocacy priorities. Learning about history, you just hit on the history tab. And I think that was all there, Austin.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much for going through to reshare that, just to make sure that everyone got the most important information.
No problem.
I do have a few
stop
questions.
sharing now or keep it up?
You can stop sharing. I just have a few questions before we end the session.
Okay.
My first question is, I know you touched on this a little bit throughout your presentation, but I know a lot of our viewers are international students. So what is the best way for international medical to get involved with AMSA?
Well, first you have to join. So that's number one. But we really have a very passionate team this year. Myself, we have Mark, and we have Dami. So the way that you would get involved is, let me take you back to that one, because we have all of our information there. You would send us an email. That is the best way. And give us about 24 to 48 hours to reply. And we'll let you know. Also with different, we're doing different talks this year with chapters. So if your chapter is chartered, we sent out an email already, but we'll send out a follow-up one, kind of giving us dates and times that work for you to get your whole AMSA like walkthrough on how to best be active about things that you're passionate about. We can kind of help guide students and different organizations. So take a screenshot of this, right? And so reach out to myself or either of my partners. And that's the best way to find out how to get involved on the international side, right? So we work on that arm with the IMG students. If your school does not have a chartered chapter, you need 5 student members that are AMSA members, and we can help you get a chapter started at your school. So you can be a pioneer as well.
Perfect, thank you. I think that answers the first question.
Okay.
You spoke a little bit about the education and advocacy fellows. I know that's something that students can apply to.
Yes.
Do you have any more information about the application process or how many students are accepted each year?
So the application process, you can find that if you go to amsterd.org to the fellowship. It's a generous application, right? But it's not too much. We're students, so they know, like, don't give us 10 pages of application. But each year it's only 1 student. So it's a salaried position. You have to be a medical student in good standing. So a future physician. And again, you're just really working with our partner. So this year it's participant media. So Oak Sewn Fist is working on it this year, really focusing on mental health issues, etc. And you're working throughout this. It's a job, right? It's a job, but it's really something that you're passionate about. That's why you apply to something like this. So if you want to take a gap year in medical school, this is an opportunity. Regarding how many people apply to it, I can't really give you a true estimate on that, but I know that only 1 student is chosen per year. But who's to say that that student can't be you? It totally can. You have to take a chance and apply.
Sure.
The last question that
I have for you for right now is, do you have any advice for medical students who are looking to grow into leadership positions at AMSA, like the Board of Trustees or other high-up positions?
Absolutely. So let me just give you my little experience, right? So I started as a shy student in my M1 year. And so we had class representatives, right? But as I told you, like in pre-med, I was like, AMSA, I want to be involved. So I just became like semi-involved. I went to the meetings and kind of observed. And then after I found out, oh my gosh, I really like this organization, you apply to different roles, right? So I applied to serve on our executive board. You learn within your chapter at your school. Once you really strengthen your skills there and you find out, oh my gosh, like I have these leadership skills, or if you're trying to develop the leadership skills, we have the Amsa Academy, which will help you develop them. We have a life and leadership skills course. So once you really develop those skills and you'll build community as well, connecting with like-minded students, then you'll really find that you can apply to greater roles. You'll get more, obviously you have more responsibilities, but with that, you're growing as well, both personally and professionally. And then, I mean, you really only need 1 to 2 years to serve on the board, but you have to make sure those 1 to 2 years are strong years, right? Ultimately, you can apply to be president if you desire, but that is a domestic position only. For the IMGs to serve on the board, you can apply to international trustee. So if you're just looking to grow in life and leadership skills, the Amsa Academy, you have to apply to a role, right? You can't want to grow and then don't plant the seed. So you really have to just step out on the limb and really go for it. We are a very friendly environment, a community. So we're all students together. We're growing together. So just get involved, and if you want to be a leader, I'm sure you'll develop the skills.
Sure. And that kind of brings up my last question that I have for you is, do you think being involved with AMSA is doable for medical students who already have busy schedules with their studies?
Absolutely, it's doable, right? So it's a student organization, the ones holding it down. Of course, we have staff that oversee us and make sure that everything like stays even keel. But it's a student organization, so other students are doing it, and so that means you can too. But it's important that you prioritize your studies. That's going to take some real planning regarding time management skills. You'll probably need a stronger support system to kind of help you. Like, okay, so you have this time, and this is your study time, right? And but within AMSA, you're going to build a great community. So it's definitely doable, but you have to be strategic in how you do it. So if you recall that I shared this national action plan, right? So if you're preparing for your shelf exam, or if you have a step exam in June, right? So you'll probably take the January through March through June off, right? Because your exam is in June. But hello, July through December, you can work so hard in AMSA, right? So you can still be productive every year, because we know that we build for exams. But during our times that are less full, this is the time when you can really become involved within the student organization, AMSA.